Welcome to ICSE Computer Application Class 10 100 marks. I am Ganga Devi and with this video we are starting the revision series for board exam. After 1 month we will be having the board exam. So before that we can revise through all the chapters and all the questions which are important for this year, that is 2020-21. So we will be going through all the chapters one by one and discuss the important questions and output questions that can come in the board exam, and can discuss all the answers, how to write the answers, what are the common errors that are coming, so that you will get a clear view and write the exam very well. So before starting my video, I request all those who haven't subscribed my channel till now, please subscribe it. And in the end, if you like the video, please don't forget to press the like button and write your comments. In this video, we will be discussing Chapter 1 Object-Oriented Programming. We can see what are the important topics that can come in the board exam. The weightage for this chapter, if we go through old question papers, 10 years question paper, we can see it is 2 to 4 marks. That means in every question paper, 2 to 4 marks questions will be asked from this chapter. So what questions we can expect, and what are the new topics or new questions that are coming or that can come this year. So starting with, we have the first question, that is object-oriented programming. Definition we have to study. The difference of object-oriented programming, that means OOP vs POP. Features of object-oriented programming. Basic elements or principles of object-oriented programming, that is we can see abstraction, encapsulation, polymorphism and inheritance. So all these questions are important. In the first video, this is the first video of the revision series, so we will be discussing all the answers, how to write the answer and what points has to be added and what points has to be omitted. The next important questions are definition of class and object that we have to study, and the questions like why class is known as object factory, why class is known as user defined data type, why class is known as composite data type, why object is known as instance of class, and differentiate between class and object. All these are important questions. 1 or 2 questions can come from these topics. The next question is how objects interact with each other. What do you mean by message and message passing, and what do you mean by modeling? So these are the important questions that can come from this chapter in the ICSE board exam. Now we can see how to write the answer. This is the first, as I told you, this is the first series. So in this chapter we will be discussing the answers also, so that you can write to the point answers and correct answers without making any mistake. First question, what is object-oriented programming? Name any 2 object-oriented programming. Here see, I have written just 2-line answer, but the points are covered. Object-oriented programming is an approach to standardize the program in which stress is laid on data rather than functions, and complete program is divided into number of entities called objects. So your marks don't depend upon the length of your answer. As in English language, in computer application, we have to give to the point answer in proper English language. So 1 or 2 line is enough. And the second part of the question, name any 2 object-oriented programming, is given Java and Smalltalk. And the next question, object-oriented programming by POP. So when difference is coming, always make a column and write the difference in both the sides. Here we can see object-oriented programming divided into parts called object, and POP divided into small parts called functions. And POP follows top-down approach, and object-oriented programming follows bottom-up approach. And POP importance is not given to data but to functions, and OOP importance is given to data rather than procedure. And here also you can see we have written the example. So difference, at least write 2 difference, and if you can write the example, that also you can write. The next three questions: what are the features of Java? What are the features of object-oriented programming? And what are the principles of object-oriented programming? Student always make the mistakes here. In features of Java, we will write robust, distributed, multi-threaded, high-performance, portable, dynamic, interpreted, simple, and platform independent. These are the features of Java. And features of object-oriented programming. Object-oriented programming gives stress on data rather than items. It makes the complete program by dividing into number of objects, and you can easily modify the program, and it follows bottom-up approach. Mostly in features of object-oriented programming, students write the principles. So be careful when you write the answer. Features, you have to write this answer, and if it is as the principles of object-oriented programming or basic elements, then the answer will come abstraction, encapsulation, polymorphism, and inheritance. Coming to definition, just write to the point answer with proper grammar. No need of elaborating answers. In computer application, you will not get marks if you write a very long answer. The points are checked, and definitions, points are enough, and no need of big answer. Encapsulation also to the point answer, that is wrapping up of data and function in one. And these are the common questions that can be asked. Definitions of all the principles. Polymorphism, here we can see one thing in many form, and the second line can be asked as a separate question also. That means board can ask, how is polymorphism encapsulated in Java programming? The answer is by function overloading. The reverse question also can be asked, which feature or which principle of object-oriented programming is shown by function overloading? We can write the answer polymorphism. And inheritance definition is given, where one class acquires the properties of another class, and here we have to say which is the subclass and superclass also. And the keyword for inheritance, it is extends, not extend. And here we can see the line class ABC extends XYZ. In this line, ABC is the subclass and XYZ is the superclass. So questions like this can be asked. And here we can see the common questions and definitions. You can go through it properly. Definition of class, definition of object, and why class is known as object factory. All these questions are important. As I told you, at least 2 questions will come from this chapter. So even if it is one line answer, you have to study, because we don't know which question is coming. So be prepared with all the answers. A class is known as user defined type, composite data type, and why object is known as instance of the class. So all these questions contain just 1 or 2 lines answer. So be prepared with the answers. And now difference. This is the other question that can be asked, difference between the class and object. When you write, put a column, and point wise you can write on both the sides the proper definition of class and object. Here class is the blueprint. The main points you have to write. Class is the blueprint from which objects are created, and object is the instance of the class where properties and behavior, and class is a logical entity and object is a physical entity, and class does not allocate memory space and object allocate memory space. And here we can say, if class is animal, the objects can be dog, cat, and if class is vehicle, the object can be car, scooter, like that. So like this, proper definitions we can write. And the next difference that can be asked, difference between encapsulation and abstraction. Here the first difference can be, we can write the proper definition. That means encapsulation wraps up data and function in one unit, and abstraction hides the essential. And here we can see encapsulation implementation details are hidden from the user, and abstraction implementation details are not considered by the user. So these 2 lines are enough for the difference. And the board questions that were asked, name any 2 principles, and what does a class encapsulate? That means data and function. And what is inheritance and how is it useful in Java? Useful, we can say it is, that means inheritance help in reusability by adding new features to a class without modifying the contents. So whatever question we have discussed, they were also asked in the board, and 1 or 2 extra questions I am showing which were asked in the board exam. Here we can see differentiate between base class and derived class. In 2006, this question was asked. Base class, the class from which another class inherits. It is also known as superclass, and derived class, a class inheriting properties from another class. That is known as the subclass. And two attributes of class declaration, we can say data members and data function. And identify the keyword to represent a set of objects that has common properties and behavior. Logical questions also can be asked. Think about the answer and give it. So answer for this question is class. How do objects interact with each other? Through message passing. This question also can be asked. What is message passing? The interaction between the objects are known as message passing. What is modeling? The way of simplifying the real world to enable us to solve the problem. For example, model, we can say calendar is the model of the month, and program is a model of seeing how the task is achieved. And what do you mean by entity? It can be a real world object, either animate or inanimate, that can be easily identifiable, in which we can identify the particular object. For example, table, pen, student. Can be asked in the board exam. And now, one word answers. We can see the concept that is implemented through a superclass and subclass. So answer is inheritance. The act of representing essential features. So we can say abstraction. Process in which one object acquires the properties of another object. Inheritance. And combination of both data and functions that operate on the data under a single unit. Encapsulation. Process in which one object acquires the properties of another object. It is inheritance. And programming technique that implements program as an organized collection of interactive objects. As I told you, logical questions can be asked. Here it is asked programming technique. So don't give the answer as class. The programming technique is object-oriented programming. And art of implementing encapsulation in object-oriented programming. It is the class. And objects interact with each other through message. So one word questions also can be asked in section A. So be prepared for all these questions. In this, we are completing revision series 1. In the coming days, we will be uploading revision series for all the topics in after ICSE board exam. Hope this will help you in the board exam. And if you like the video, please don't forget to press the like button and write your comments. And those who haven't subscribed till now, please subscribe the video, subscribe the channel. And see you all in revision series